Hello, so this is the best essay that my students wrote under time conditions on this question: how is this a powerful moment in the novel? It looks at this extract, which is the death of Curly's wife, but the skills I'm going to show you are relevant to any novel that you're studying. So what we're looking for is the ability to write about the extract by quoting, and then in the explanation about the quotation to link it to the wider themes of the novel, or if you prefer, the writer's perspective, in this case Steinbeck. So here we go. Steinbeck shows how Curly's wife is innocent and young after she has just been killed. Well, that's a good point. I'm looking for a quotation to back it up, but then I'm going to look for a reason why Steinbeck wants to show this innocence and this youth. So this is revealed by pretty and simple, sweet and young. Okay, so that's spot on. It also shows us the prejudices in the novel. Okay, so she might be suggesting that's why he's shown her to be innocent and young. Let's see if she can pull this off. For example, the men on the ranch judged Curly's wife's appearance and blamed her for causing trouble. Yes, that's also true, but it's a separate point from the innocence and youth, unless she's going to show that this blame was unwarranted and that Curly's wife was still innocent. Let's see. But now, the meanness and the plannings and the discontent and the ache for attention were all gone from her face. Obviously, we need quotation marks there. This makes it powerful. Good. So she's using the language of the question and has realized this is the first time she's used that key word. So this is very good proofreading from that point of view. This reveals how innocent she is, and similarly to everyone else, she had a dream too. So now she's linking the innocence, which was the point she made here, to the idea of this dream, which again is true, but she's missed the opportunity to analyse why Curly's wife had a face that was full of meanness and planning and discontent, and how Steinbeck wants us to react to this. Does he want us to sympathise with her, or do we still dislike her, for example, for threatening crooks with being hanged by falsely accusing him of rape if he didn't back down and allow her to have the last word and triumph in his room? And the other thing that's missing here is the tremendous amount of sympathy Steinbeck generates for her because of her youth. And she's probably only about 17 years old, because she started meeting men at the dance palace when she was only 15. So she can't be over 17 when she's married to Curly. And this is a fact that's often overlooked by readers. So we've got lost opportunities here. However, she is attempting to link her ideas together from the quotations to Steinbeck's viewpoint. So let's have a look. During the Great Depression, many people had an American dream. So she's linking this to this dream here that Curly's wife had. Curly's wife's dream was to be in the movies and become famous. However, Steinbeck conveys the fragility of people's dreams. So that's good. That's now trying to link her death to his purpose, which is to show that everyone's dreams are fragile. And we'll see that, of course, when Lenny is also killed. Curly's wife's dream is destroyed by Lenny as he kills her. On the other hand, Lenny's dream is also destroyed because he had done another bad thing. So now she's really hitting a stride. We're getting into some quality writing. This is a quotation from the passage that she's looking at, but she's linking it to the wider purpose. Steinbeck showing that the American dream is impossible, and the very act of killing Curly's wife also kills Lenny's own dream. Lenny knows that George will be mad if Lenny does something wrong. Therefore, Lenny won't be able to have their dream farm where he can pet the rabbits. Furthermore, Steinbeck reveals how Lenny is like an animal, which is revealed by he poured up. It portrays how Lenny does things without thinking about it. Good, so this is quite a profound point about Lenny. She now needs to link that to the title. Remember, that was about how Steinbeck makes this moment powerful. And she can do that by explaining why Steinbeck wants us to see Lenny as an animal. Well, let's see if she does it. Lenny wasn't intending to hurt Curly's wife, which is revealed by, I don't want to hurt you. This makes it powerful because Steinbeck reveals how the powerful take, that should be, over the powerless, which in this case, Lenny kills Curly's wife. So she's got quite a good idea here that Lenny is a symbol of the powerful here, who destroys the powerless, Curly's wife. But what she hasn't done is said why Steinbeck has done this. So, for example, she might point out that Lenny is very low in the social hierarchy due to his lack of mental ability, and yet he still seems to be superior to Curly's wife, who's in full control of her faculties, highly intelligent possibly, but because she's a woman, is seen as a second-class citizen, not given a name, and ultimately killed. But more importantly, she's missed this brilliant idea where she's pointed out how Steinbeck deliberately portrays Lenny as an animal. Well, why has he done this? Well, one reason, of course, links to the title of Mice and Men, where Steinbeck deliberately links men to animals in order to show that perhaps, in terms of fate, they're just treated in a similar way. Men and women get no special treatment. They are just as likely to be killed off by random chance or the act of strangers as animals are. Or he could be suggesting that without the application of the knowledge of good and evil, we are all animals. Lenny doesn't understand good and evil. He only understands that he's told that he's done a bad thing. Another way of looking at this is to say that when man is excluded from Eden for eating the fruit of the tree of knowledge and good and evil, their existence is actually better. So that state of innocence that Lenny has is only animal-like, and men need the knowledge of evil in order to fully appreciate good. You don't have to argue any of those things, of course, but what you do have to do is look at this animal imagery and ask yourself, why does Steinbeck portray Lenny this way? And your answer has to fit in with your understanding of the rest of the novel. It's a really dangerous thing to your A and A star grade to make an observation like this and not ask yourself what it's for. Okay, let's see how she continues. In addition, Lenny blames Curly's wife, which is revealed by George will be mad if you yell. This conveys the sexism in the novel, because if she hadn't screamed, then Lenny wouldn't have killed her. Well, yes, that's true, but why is that sexist? Perhaps you could say that Lenny is treating her exactly as an object, which is why he picks her up and manhandles her. And this is similar to the way the other men treat her as an object, though because they are less innocent than Lenny, they treat her as a sexual object. Lenny doesn't. He has no sexuality at all in this novel. And that's what would have got this point into the A and A star grade. Also, it conveys how Curly's wife is treated unfairly. Well, that's true. Let's see how she develops this point. This is because she doesn't have a name. Instead, she's referred to, should be as, belonging to Curly. Well, that's correct. Therefore, it shows us the sexism in the novel. Well done. So she's proven the sexism in the novel here, but you can see that she hasn't linked that to this quotation, and I showed you earlier how she might do that. Alternatively, now this is always a really good sign for the examiner. You've had a therefore, which is an explanation, and now an alternative, which is going to give us a different perspective, and that's usually the mark of an A-grade essay. It can also show how Lenny looks up to George, as there is a repetition of him saying George will be mad. Good, that does work, but to get the grade, she has to link this to the question, which was about how the passage is powerful. Also, George tells Lenny to hide in the brush before they turn up on the ranch. This foreshadows that Lenny will do something bad. Therefore, it reveals how well George knows Lenny. Excellent. Again, this then has to be linked to how it is powerful and also to Steinbeck's purpose. Why does he want George to say this? Why is this foreshadowing there? So, for example, she could have linked the foreshadowing to fate, or she could have linked the foreshadowing to an analysis of George's character. Should he look after Lenny better? Did he actually know that it was likely that he'd end up killing Curly's wife, given that he'd overreacted in weed, holding onto the girl's dress and not letting go? You know, he must have imagined what would have happened if it wasn't her dress he was holding, but her body. And that could also link to the way George says when he sees the dead body, I guess I should have known, I guess I always did. I'm paraphrasing. But so we've got a character analysis of George that she could have put in, or an analysis of how fate is working here. But she doesn't do that. She just says it's a sign of how well the characters know each other. So this makes it a powerful moment because Lenny remembers to hide in the brush till he come. So she's realised, she's got to link this point to the idea of powerful, but actually her explanation of why it is powerful, just that Lenny remembers something, isn't really that powerful, is it? She hasn't explained why it's important that he suddenly remembered. Let's see if she does it in the next bit. Therefore, it suggests how Lenny listens to George and sees him like a father or brother. As a result, Steinbeck conveys the need for companionship. Good, so she's pulled this out of the bag. She's linked it to another theme, that of loneliness and companionship in the novel, and she said this is powerful because Steinbeck is showing how important companionship is. This would be an even better made point if she pointed out how little Lenny actually remembers through the novel, and it's quite a powerful moment that he actually remembers this instruction that was delivered several days ago. It's now Sunday and this was delivered on the Friday. This is because without George, Lenny would be lonely and do even more bad things. So she's just about pulled that out of the bag. Steinbeck, again, shows us how innocent Curly's wife is. Well, you remember that was a point she made at the beginning, and she's turning back to it to show us Steinbeck's point of view again. That's a very good skill, which is revealed by the sun streaks were high on the wall, which makes it seem as though the streaks could be from heaven. So that's a pretty good analysis here, and that does link to innocence, doesn't it? So it shows how Curly's wife will go to heaven. However, Curly's wife is also described as having rouged cheeks, reddened lips. This shows how alarming she is, and so it may have triggered Lenny to kill her. Now there's a problem with this because there's nothing to show us that that was Lenny's reason for killing her. In fact, he's killed her by accident. However, what I think she means, but the examiner won't give her credit for this because she hasn't spelled it out, is this is a symbolic signal. So this again foreshadows how she will die. It also, if you like, foreshadows the danger of her behaviour around men. So in this violent patriarchal society, she's taking a big risk and not understanding that risk by wearing this red makeup. Effectively, she makes herself a sexual target. So this shows how alarming she is, and so it may have triggered Lenny to kill her. This makes it a powerful moment as she is wearing red, which may represent danger. And again, this point has to be linked to Steinbeck's purpose. Is he suggesting